Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining the Health Partners Coffee and Chat on the healing power of gratitude. My name is Ivy Abdullahi, and I work at Park Nicholas Foundation. Health Partners is a nonprofit organization with a mission of improving health and well-being in partnership with its members, patients, and community. As an integrated system of care and coverage, Health Partners operates hospitals and clinics, health plans, and a research and education institute. We serve more than 1.3 million patients in Minnesota and Wisconsin. By working together as a system, we share resources, expertise, and innovation to advance health for all. Without further ado, thank you so much to Jen and Emily, and I will kick it over to them for the presentation.
Thank you so much, Ivy, and thank you to all of you for taking time out of your day today to be here for our little presentation about gratitude. So the first thing I want to ask you is what's in your algorithm? Now, I'm not just talking about social media. I know we're all used to algorithm terms in terms of social media, but this also impacts, you have a choice on where to direct your attention. So think about the things you choose to focus on each and every day, not just in your social media accounts, but the news you consume, the people you interact with, the things you let frustrate you on your morning commute or your drive in. What we pay attention to is where our focus goes. A quote that really resonated with me, or a stat from the Make It Okay campaign, is that mental illness is as common as silver cars. So now that I planted the seed about silver cars, you're going to start to notice how many silver cars are on the road as you drive the next time you're on the road. So think about the power you have in deciding what you focus on to help lead to where your focus draws in future. So you can change your thoughts, your perspective, and yes, ultimately your algorithm. So let's go to the next slide. So gratitude is a positive emotion and conscious practice of recognizing, appreciating, and being thankful for the good things, people, and experiences in life. So gratitude is a choice. It is an action, it is free, and it is a practice. We can't express gratitude at one point in time and expect our moods to automatically uplift, but we can make these choices off and on throughout the day to direct our perspective towards gratitude. Just a couple of examples to give you that little shift and how it might change things. So I don't know about you, but this morning around 5:30 a.m., there was a little bit of a thunderstorm here, and I was up having my little quiet time and morning kind of contemplation time. And I have two dogs, and these two dogs do not like or appreciate Mother Nature and her thunderstorm so much. So I had one dog interrupting my quiet time by staring at me shaking from across the room, and I had another dog actively climbing onto my lap to seek solace and comfort. Now I had a choice to be a little frustrated, which I initially was a little frustrated, like, this is my quiet time, it's just a thunderstorm, it's no big deal, we're fine. Or I could shift into gratitude and be grateful that my dogs felt safe with me, that they found comfort in being close to me, and that I had some power to help them regulate. I got to express that gratitude for them and for them wanting to be with me to be safe. Another way that's a little less maybe nurturing and compassionate is just thinking about my own habit when I used to teach some fitness classes in the mornings, which meant I was awake at like 4:15 in the morning. And at the same time, I also had some sleep issues, so I wasn't sleeping real well at night. And when my alarm went off, as I was turning my alarm off, I would say a curse word I won't repeat here in a professional setting. But that curse word did not necessarily set me up for a positive, calm, delightful morning. It set me up in kind of a negative mind space, a negative mood. And so I noticed this after, this is what we preach in our BeWell team, is we get to shift our thoughts, we get to think on purpose, we get to take positive action each and every day to impact our health and well-being. And preaching gratitude and not practicing it first thing in the morning, I thought was a little hypocritical of me. So I made some choices. I I thought out, okay, how do I shift to a positive affirmation or really set the tone? And I decided I needed to go much smaller, that it was too much to ask at a 4 o'clock hour in the morning to have that much thought process. So I just decided I wasn't going to say anything. I was going to keep my mind voices quiet. I was going to turn off my alarm, sit on my bed, and use that time to just take a big, deep inhale and a really big stretch and focus on my body for a second. Focus on the fact that I was awake, that I was moving, that I could feel my muscles that were stiff from a long night of resting in bed, that I could feel where I had, what body part I had worked out the previous day, and just kind of sit in that appreciation that here I am another day. So we can go to the next slide and I will pass it over to Emily, but just a couple of nuggets to think about as we go through the rest of the content today.
All right. So, what does the science say about gratitude, too? We found from the American Brain Foundation that there are many benefits to practicing gratitude, one of them being your emotional well being. So, practicing gratitude can help you reduce future stress and rewire cognitive pathways that you can better cope with emotions that arise from difficult circumstances. And this can also reduce symptoms of anxiety, depression, and improve the ability to manage stress. It also benefits social connection. So expressing appreciation enhances our connection to others. And this in turn helps to build and strengthen community and cooperation. It also benefits our general health. So individuals who experience high levels of gratitude have been found to have fewer headaches, infections, digestion problems, dizzy spells, and less congestion. And it can decrease symptoms of head pain, sore muscles, and nausea. So who doesn't want those benefits? And it can also improve your risk of decrease mortality and improve your health risk. So interesting results were found in a long-term nurses health longevity study that was published in JAMA Psychiatry in July of 2024 with over 49,000 women enrolled. They found that participants completed a 6-item gratitude questionnaire in which they ranked their agreement with a statement such as, I have so much in my life to be thankful for. And if I had to list everything I felt grateful for, it would be a very long list. And researchers found that participants with the highest gratitude scores at the study start had a 9% lower risk of dying over the next 4 years, even when controlling for physical health, economic circumstances, mental health, and well-being. Move on to the next slide. And there are even more benefits tied to a regular gratitude practice. So as you can see from this graphic shown here from Human Performance's resources, a regular gratitude practice has been shown to make you feel happier overall and have more energy, also be more resilient, have stronger relationships, boost your motivation and performance, and build character. And there are really many ways that you can get started with this, as Jen had shared earlier. And just to help keep it top of mind, as we know, it can get difficult to get into a practice, but Jen will share next just a little bit more about how to do that. And feel free, I'm going to launch a quick poll here as well, so feel free to share. This is confidential, just how gratitude has positively impacted you.
Love the crowdsourcing poll idea, Emily. That's fantastic. It can be intimidating and maybe a little woo-woo to think about the power of gratitude in our day-to-day life. And so it helps to have a couple of tactics on hand to just get you started. And then they become really a lot more natural. So a couple of things to think about are habit stacking. I love this for so many different things around our lifestyle habits and health, and it works for gratitude as well. So this is the basic practice of thinking of things you already do on a regular basis. I presented to some charge nurses recently talking about stress breaks and habit stacking. And so what are the things you do on your nursing shift? all day, every day? Well, they chart and they do a lot of foaming in and foaming out. So what habit could we add to that process of charting, of foaming in and foaming out, that would help them reset their stress cycle? And gratitude is one of those things they can do to help reset their stress cycle. So as foaming in and foaming out, they could just say a little gratitude to themselves, take a deep breath, and then move on to their next task. The second tactic is a gratitude journal. So it can be hard to get started, but I think back, this dates me quite a bit, but I think back to the Doogie Howser TV show where he would type out like quick little sentences about his day, and a lot of them framed around gratitude. But those prompts can be just think about 5 positive things in your life. Think about 3 things you're good at. 4 things about your body or your health you appreciate. Activities that you enjoy. It doesn't have to be something super specific and in-depth and deep. And the other practice or tactic would be 3 good things. So this is one that I used with my son when he was in 4th grade and kind of struggling with some friendships at school and just not feeling the happiest as he could feel. And we started a notebook on our kitchen counter. It sat, and in the mornings when I would wake up and have my quiet time before I went to the gym, I would write 3 things I was grateful for. In the evening before he went to bed, he would stop at the kitchen counter and write down 3 things he was grateful for. So he got to read mine, and then I got to read his later. So it was a way for us to just kind of lay some groundwork for how to be grateful, even in the midst of a bad day, or maybe some conflict with a friend, or you didn't make the sports team you wanted to make. There are still positive things happening. I want to just call out some of the responses here on our poll. It's beautiful. To foundation of gratitude, to be present, to manage difficult situations, daily journals, perspective, hard times, gratitude has positively impacted you, to feel more purposeful, to help your mental health. That's fantastic. So thank you for sharing. Appreciate it. And now to Emily, we've got a little gratitude practice.
Yes, thank you. So, as you can see here, there are many different forms that your gratitude practice might take. And sticking with the meeting theme of coffee chat, we added a few ideas to this slide and thought we could also apply a gratitude practice today just to show how easy it can be to tie it into a daily habit. So now let's walk through a guided coffee gratitude meditation together. I do have my coffee here, and to be fair, this does work with tea as well, but feel free to grab your coffee, tea, or whatever beverage you have in front of you and practice this with me. So take a comfortable seat. Again, have that beverage in hand if you have one available. Let your shoulders drop. And let's all together take a slow, deep breath in and out. Feel free if you want to close your eyes or just soften your gaze in front of you. And just take a few moments to become present. So feel the warmth of that cup of coffee in your hands. Notice the aroma rising toward you, rich, earthy, and comforting. Allow this moment to signal that you've arrived in your day. Next, we're going to connect with your senses. So bring the cup closer and take a gentle inhale. What notes do you notice? Is it nutty, sweet, bold? Let the scent anchor you in the present moment. And take a slow sip. Pay attention to the warmth, the taste, and the way your body responds. Let's shift into cultivating gratitude. As you breathe, silently offer thanks. Show gratitude for the people who grew and harvested the beans, for the water that brewed it, for the hands, your own, that prepared it, for this quiet pause before the day unfolds. And let's take a moment to set an intention. So with one more sip, set a gentle intention for your day. Might be, may I move through today with ease? Or may I stay present and grounded? Choose whatever feels right. Take a sip with me. And let's take one final deep breath in and out. And feel your feet on the ground, your body steady. And when you're ready, step into the rest of your day with clarity and appreciation. And I'm going to launch another poll here just to get your thoughts on how you plan to practice gratitude this week. Again, feel free to share. It's confidential, and we'll gain some more idea of how you might practice gratitude.
Thank you, Emily. That was so good. Ritual and connection, I just see that on the screen. And I think one of the things that I love a good theme. And so the fact this is a coffee chat was really helpful for us in deciding what to do for our little BeWell moment in gratitude. And I love coffee dates with my friends and connection. And I'm so grateful for local coffee shops and cute little quaint coffee atmosphere, I guess is the right word. So grateful for those connecting spots and places to connect with my friends. So what we're seeing coming in our intentions are morning meditations, and just time every morning to be thankful, to pause for presence, to notice nature, moments of stillness, prayer, deep breaths. One nighttime, we got one nighttime. That's a smaller one than the mornings. Mornings seem like an easier way to get our intentions taken care of. Noticing tiny things, absolutely. It doesn't have to be some grand big gesture, but noticing something small and just taking a moment to reflect on that. I was doing the spring ritual task of cleaning up dog poop the other day, and I actually saw a fuzzy brown caterpillar, which was really exciting to just see that in my yard. A little tiny thing. Just stop and pause for a moment in the middle of a mundane, not so pleasant activity that we have to take part in. So we'd love to hear anything from you. Any questions, thoughts, or comments, you can put them in the Q&A, but that's what we have for you today. So thank you again so much for this topic and for taking the time to be here and to connect with us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. And we do have a little bit more to share. I wanted to introduce my colleague from Park Nicollet Foundation as well, Amy Homestead. And she's put together some wonderful examples of how gratitude has made an impact around HealthPartners, the HealthPartners system. So thank you, Emily. Thank you, Jen. And please welcome Amy. We'll also have time for questions at the end of this.
Yeah, thank you, Ivy. Hi, I'm Amy Homestead, and I work with Park Nicollet Foundation and with all the other foundations in the Health Partners family as well. And I am excited to share with you all some great examples of how our community has expressed their gratitude in tangible ways here at Health Partners. So I oftentimes tell people that I have the best job at Health Partners because we get to work with people that have had really meaningful, life-changing experiences with us. Sometimes really hopeful, wonderful situations, and sometimes very sad situations, but also situations that have a lot of grace in them. And so oftentimes folks come to us because they want to take what they're feeling, the gratitude they're feeling, and express it in a way to support others. So I have a few stories here to share with you all. So Ivy, if you would, next slide, please. So this map shows the locations of our Health Partners foundations. There are 8 foundations across the Health Partners systems. And so I'm going to be sharing a few stories from a few of these locations, but know that at every location, we have infinite stories of gratitude that we could share. Next slide, please. So our first story comes to us from Regions Hospital and Regions Hospital Foundation. And the story comes from a family, the family of John Bigley. So John, in 2021, spent his final days at Regions, and he passed away. But his wife, Alexis, was so grateful for the kindness that she witnessed as a family member during her time at Regions that she made a gift to the foundation to establish the John A. Bigley Kindness Award. And so annually, this award is granted to two or more outstanding Regions team members, one that works in direct patient care and one that works in more of a back end supporting role. The team over at Regions has the chance to nominate outstanding colleagues, and then they receive this Most Valuable Partner Award. And so this photo here is, let me get my slide right. This is from 2024. So in this photo, we see the two, or one of the two award winners. Our winners were Eric Estelle from the emergency department and Scott Stewart, who works in food production and nutrition services. So that's one example we wanted to share of a family who was able to give back and express their gratitude. Next slide, Ivy. So our next story comes to us from Hudson. On the screen here, we see a photo of Marty Best. So Marty was diagnosed with multiple myeloma. This was many years ago, and he traveled to Mayo back and forth, but he eventually discovered that he could receive the same life-saving care close to home, right at Hudson Hospital and Clinic. And the care he received was extraordinary. And he was so grateful because the staff, he said, they didn't just treat his illness, but they treated him like family. So treated him like one of their own. His daughter, Marty's daughter, is on the board at Hudson, and she encouraged him to become a volunteer. And so after he was done with his treatment, he was able to give back and give his time, pay it forward to others who are in a similar situation on campus, maybe a little bit lost. And so he helps them get to their appointment, taking that stress off their shoulders. So that was a way that he was able to express his gratitude, pay it forward, make a difference for others. So that's our story about Marty. And then lastly, I have a quote from Dr. Mark Sanis. So Dr. Sanis is our chief medical officer. And recently we received a note of gratitude from a family member. So I'm going to read the note of gratitude and then I'll talk about what Dr. Sanis had to say about that. So the note of gratitude said, 18 months ago, my father returned to Minnesota from Florida due to declining health and needed his family support. He had extensive care throughout the system, including TRIA, Park Nicollet, clinics, and several hospital visits. He passed away this year, but we wanted you to know that every step along the way, your team members made a challenging 18 months better. The compassion, professionalism, and skill of your staff, including his final days at Methodist, made a meaningful difference to me, to my father, and to our family. Please thank your team for the thoughtful, high-quality care they provided my father at the end of his life. Signed with deep gratitude. So that is a grateful family member that took time out of their day to write a note and send it in. And so they were able to express their gratitude in writing and send this off to our clinicians. And when Dr. Sanis received this, I asked him, what does it feel like to receive a note like this? And so I'm going to read his words here. He said, while most clinicians will be dismissive of praise and words of gratitude saying, it's what I do every day, or it's just my job, the thing the majority of clinicians are most proud of is the quality of care that they deliver. When patients and families tell them, that's a job well done, thank you, it means a lot. In the breakneck pace of healthcare in 2026, pausing even for a moment to accept that compliment for great care reminds us clinicians of the reason we went into medicine in the first place, helping people. So it gave him a chance to reflect on his own gratitude and receive that gratitude from others. So really just showing how small moments of gratitude, small gifts, or big gifts like time and dollars, those are not small things to give. They make a huge difference here at Health Partners. So with that, I will end my time and I will open it up to questions and answers. If anyone has a question for our speakers about gratitude or a question regarding foundations, please go ahead and put it in the question and answer box and we'll take time to answer it. So we'll give you all a moment. If you want to ask questions, we'll give it a moment. While folks are typing, I will open up with the first question here for Jen and Emily. If somebody was wanting to start on their gratitude journey, what is the first step that you might recommend?
That's a good question. There's so many answers to. It's like so many things. It's kind of an it depends. So I would say the first thing I would recommend is just make it easy for yourself. Don't get stuck on that I have to do 5 things, I have to do it this time. I like have some flexibility and fluidity to starting the practice, and maybe just start by noticing an opportunity like I did this morning with my dogs. Notice that, okay, I have a choice here to be flustered because they're taking away my time, or to just sit and be grateful for whatever part this plays. And don't get stuck on, I have to be thankful for nature. I have to be thankful for my job, for my health, for my family, for my friends, for my this. If I'm thankful for this, then it leads down this rabbit hole of, well, I'm not expressing all the gratitude. Like, just give yourself, you can do one thing. You can just start little and own that piece. And it doesn't have to become overwhelming, but the more you do it, just like talking about our algorithms, when you watch one video all the way through and then all the other content similar comes through on your algorithm, same thing can happen with our brains. When we start that gratitude practice, we suddenly recognize other moments where we can utilize gratitude as a tactic.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Start small to build habits. Oftentimes we just, as with anything with our health and well-being, want to go big, but start small. Anything you can fit into your day, and set yourself up for success by any little reminders. It might be a Post-it note. It might be something on your fridge, on your mirror, whatever it may be, to remind yourself and cue yourself to practice gratitude is always helpful, just if we're not in that habit yet.
Yeah, I love that idea too, Emily. Like, I have things in my workspace that help me, remind me to slow down or to do things differently, whether it's a picture of a loved one, or I have some rocks from Lake Superior, or aromatherapy. Like, what things in your space prompt those reminders?
Mm-hmm.
That's a perfect segue into the next question I have here for you. I love those kind of low tech things right in your environment, but do you know of any websites or apps or technical things where we could receive daily positive statements or reminders?
So off the top of my head, the first thing that comes to mind is the app that HealthPartners EAP offers, Balancey. It has some gratitude practices within it. So if you're a member of if you're a HealthPartners employee, you have access to the HealthPartners EAP, and the app is Balancey. So there's information on our My Partner page. If you have through your employer HealthPartners EAP, you also have access to Balancey. So your employer HR would have passwords and all of that information for you to access. I think the Calm app also has some prompts there. Emily, do you know of any others specifically?
Calm or Headspace is another popular one.
Headspace, yeah. Yeah. Awesome.
Thank you. As long as we're taking recommendations, do you have a recommendation for a gratitude journal? This person says, I'm better having a question to answer as opposed to staring at a blank page. I feel that.
Of course. Absolutely better at answering a question. I would just recommend you go to a bookstore and sift through. There are tons. And I like being tactical, so I could direct you to online sources and read through, and you can order there. But I prefer, like, how does it feel? How big are the lines? I need the hands-on experience. But I would just go to a bookstore, and there are lots of different gratitude practices or journal sections, especially at Barnes and Noble in particular. I know there's a journal section, and there are some that are blank pages, and there are some that are a little kitschier and like have curse words and like a little more graphic in terms of like gratitude's for everyone, and they will attract you any way they can. So find the one that fits you, that you feel like you will help use and maintain. Some have stickers involved and like vision board exercises and all sorts of things there. So I would just say, if you want to take that practice, that's amazing. And the first step is just enjoy a little coffee and bookstore date with yourself and explore your options.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, I always love, whether it be that physical journal or online, there's lots of resources. I know my planner, for example, has gratitude built into it. So whatever works best for you is going to be the best way to do it. Everyone's a little different.
Thank you. How about at work? Do you have any recommendations for individual teams on how a team could instill gratitude into their daily or weekly workflows?
I think it's a practice of appreciating your colleagues' strengths. So, and appreciating them out loud. Like, I am a woman of a certain age, and technology no longer comes as easy to me, and I am so grateful and appreciative to have colleagues such as Emily who are much more tech savvy than I am. And so being able to say, Emily, can you help me with this? Or I appreciate your time and effort and her willingness to coach me and walk me through. But I think making that purposeful time to connect as individuals as well. We actually have a little coffee chat meeting every morning, and we check in and talk about each other's weekends and check in, knowing where we're at in terms of our stress levels, our busyness, so that we can be good teammates and help and take things off someone's plate in the midst of lots of other stress that might be going on. But just be out loud about it. So be purposeful and out loud.
Yeah, I love that. Just a simple thank you goes a
Yeah.
long way, especially
Yeah.
in a team environment.
And then do you personally, if you feel comfortable sharing, do you personally have a mantra or something you say to yourself as you practice gratitude, or a key phrase you'd recommend to others?
I don't have a specific mantra, but I would say I practice self-affirmations, and my self-affirmations has to do with body image. So I just embrace every gray hair, every wrinkle, every dimple, every muscle, every fiber of my being as worthy of love and attention. And I just kind of I say that before I brush my teeth in the morning. So I have it stacked. I added it to something I already do each and every day to just set myself up that doesn't matter if I have an extra little roll, my body is strong and it is worthy of love and attention. So that's what
I
I do.
love that. Yeah, I don't have a specific, but I love how Jen mentioned just practicing that gratitude muscle, really increasing your awareness is important. So I'm trying to be more aware in the phase of my life with young kids and craziness and chaos of even when I wake up and I'm so tired, noticing that feeling in my body. And instead of going to, oh, I'm so tired, just going to, I'm so grateful that my family is healthy and happy. And we get to enjoy this wonderful day. But it takes that increased awareness and flexing that muscle to get to that point too.
Wonderful. Well, thank you both. On that note, I think we'll wrap up. If anybody has any questions that weren't answered, in the chat, we put the contact information of Abby Hoyle, who's one of our colleagues, and she can help facilitate and get questions to the correct speaker, or feel free to reach out to anybody in the foundations. We'd be happy to chat with you further. And thank you, Jen. Thank you, Emily. This was wonderful. We really appreciate your time. And thank
Thank
you all for
you.
joining us.
Have a wonderful day, everybody.
Bye.